In this help video, I'd like to look at our new decision point level, which we've added into our NinjaTrader 8 add-ons. These are not available in our NinjaTrader 7 add-ons, they're only available in our NinjaTrader 8 add-ons. So you should all be familiar with our normal DP level. This is our manual DP level. If you remember, you right mouse click over a bar high like this, and then do decision point, and it gives you an area of potential support and resistance. That area of support and resistance is on the chart in advance before the market gets there, and as you should already be familiar, it's a good place where you'll see market reversals. For example, the 15-minute chart of the YM reversed right at the typical DP level there, and if I scroll back a bit and I take a DP off this pivot, you can see that the low came in. If I drag that across a bit, you can see the low here came in right at this DP support as well. So you should be familiar with our standard DP, which gives you an areas where the markets make reversals. But quite often you get situations like we have here. So if I go back to this pivot, I right mouse click and I do decision point, you can see that the market went just beyond that and then sort of drifted back again. So what we've done is we've now done a bit of research, and we've done identified a second level which we've called a maximum DP that can be used for pinpointing these turns as well. So I'll just clear this chart off. To turn this on, we go right mouse click, we come down to indicators, and we select our MTP analysis indicator there, and we scroll down in the settings, and if we come down to the settings, we've got a new section here in the decision point. To see that decision point, it says display DP zones. So if I click on this, you can see here you can just display either just the typical, which is what we're used to already, or you can display just the maximum, or I'm going to do both. I'm going to choose both, and I'll show you what we get here in a minute. So you do both, then do OK. Now what this does is if I go back to this pivot here and I right mouse click, I do decision point, you can see it gives you a second decision point level, which is a maximum DP level. And you can see very often when the market has gone just beyond our normal or our typical DP level, very often it makes a reversal right at that level there, you can see. So even here, you know, we have our level on there as well, but obviously we didn't need it because it reversed at our typical. So this is just an additional level that you can have for doing reversals. Now this is probably a bit more of an advanced technique, because if you remember, our MTP trend, which is this color coded here, works off our typical DP level, so it doesn't work off our maximum. So you can get situations where, I mean, it's not in this particular example, but you can get situations where it reverses off our maximum. Just take that off to show you. It works off our maximum, and then that doesn't tally with our MTP trend. So the use of the maximum decision point level is really for the more experienced users among you. But as you can see, they do actually pick up some nice turns. Another example is if I go to the US dollar Japanese yen and I scroll back to this last pivot low here, and I right mouse click and I do decision point, you can see here that the market went down. You see how it just went just beyond our typical DP support zone. So it just went beyond there, but it did actually reverse absolutely perfectly at our maximum level there. Still, you tend to want to use the typical one most of the time, because as the name suggests, typical is where typically a market will reverse, but it's handy if you are a bit more of an experienced user to be able to have this maximum DP level on the chart as well to see if the market goes just beyond our typical. But normally for everyday use, you'll see the market tends to reverse at the typical zones. Let's have a quick look at which version this is in. If I go to Tools, MTPredictor, and I do About, you can see this is new for our MTPredictor add-ons for NinjaTrader 8, build 8.1.1.2. So 0.1.2 is where this has been added in. So this just shows you what or how to turn on the maximum DP level, and to show you how to do the use. But as I said again, typically we'll just use the typical one, but if you're a more experienced user, you can add that on as well to see if a market goes just beyond our typical, to see areas where it will reverse at the maximum level.